All right, we're here. It's the video release party deep in Hollywood. It is TQ. What's up, brother?
Oh, can't complain, man. How are you? How are you?
Always great to see you, man.
Yes, indeed. Likewise.
Yes. Coming of age.
Yeah, way.
They never knew.
You never saw me coming,
there
right?
You go.
Yeah, man.
When you think back at those days, coming up, you know, loving music, all of a sudden being in this group and being thrown in the machine, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, what was that evolution like, where you knew that you needed to be solo? You knew you needed to have your voice.
You know what? Kind of early on, I figured that the group thing just wasn't for me because I was just always more of a writer, and I drew from my own heart, my own experiences to write. So I was kind of like, how can I do that for 4 other people and myself and keep it in the first person? You know what I'm saying? So that was always just a little weird. It's easy to write for another artist, but to write for another artist that is also actually an extension of you just got kind of it's kind of testy. So, you know, I did. It was a foot in the door, and you got to start somewhere. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It taught me a lot.
Michael Jackson was in the group.
Exactly.
And speaking of Michael, obviously, I'm sure he was influenced. Who were some of your other heroes growing up? Who really inspired you to want to do music and really blew your mind?
I would have to say a lot of the older Motown acts, Marvin Gaye, Stevie's. My parents, man, they had such a huge record collection. Like my dad had all the LPs and my mom had all the 45s, like bookshelves of them. So
the bag was like a treasure.
Yeah, man.
Pull something out and just set the mood.
Exactly. So I would pull out an old record and just sit there and listen to it and just copy the person. So I would just copy Michael Jackson, try to sing exactly like him, copy the notes that Marvin Gaye did, try to sing exactly like him. And then outside of that, I guess the natural mix came from what I listened to myself. Outside of their influence, that's all NWA. My mom was a church woman. I couldn't listen to that in the house. So I remember when they bought me. Yeah, exactly. I remember when they bought me the first Walkman. That's like, okay, now I can listen to NWA. So I think I'm just a natural mix between the two.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. I mean, and you look out there, and so much history's passed, but somebody like a Smokey or a Lionel is still doing it.
Still doing it, man. Timeless.
I mean, you look at Smokey, you can't even tell how old it is.
Exactly. And it still sounds great. Sounds great still. Yeah.
I mean, what inspiration is that, to know that you lead a good life, you do right, feed your body some right elements.
Absolutely.
It's timeless.
Absolutely. I mean, it's self-preservation, man. And a lot of times when you're in the rat race, you know, it takes so much from you. So you have to find a way to put back in. And luckily, you know, he's been constantly able to put back into himself.
Yeah,
it's a blessing.
National treasure.
That he is.
It's so important that why people like that are still on this planet.
Right.
That we show them all the love and let them know what they did for all of us.
Exactly.
Doors they
opened. Exactly.
It's one thing to go lay a flower on a star on the boulevard after they're gone.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah, give me my flowers where I can see them. Exactly.
Some of these living legends are still here, and these are the guys that really were the pioneers.
Right.
You know?
Right. That's the truth.
So we came up, of course, with West Side, all that great music, you know, and you saw the major in the hustle there in the machine, and then you came back and you started doing your indie thing, finding your thing, and then this Cash Money thing came calling.
Yeah.
Talk about, you know, the decision. Should I go down there? Should I stay doing my thing? What was that dilemma like?
You know, it was at the time I was going through just drama with Sony. That's the label I was signed to. I was signed to Epic, and they just kind of didn't understand me. We didn't understand each other. Yeah. The people that signed me, that whole regime got fired right before Westside came out. So it was kind of just it was just an uphill battle the whole while trying to get them to just kind of get it. And Baby and Slim, they just got it. Like from the time that I met them, I would go out on the road with them. I would perform with them. I would do songs with them, and they just seemed to get it. They just understood what it was that I was trying to put out there. So they were trying to buy me away from Sony, and Sony wouldn't allow it. They told them to stop trying. So I remember Slim saying, "Man, we can't get you out of your deal, but if you can get yourself off, we got one for you." So I went about setting myself up to get out of Sony and on to Cash Money. Yeah.
Well, no, great collaborations with Lil Wayne, Juvenile, that was very creative. What was the frustrating part about that? Just not being able to get the release to get pushed to be the priority behind all those guys?
Yeah, I just think like, well, I had a fan base before I went to Cash Money, and my reason for going to Cash Money was not to dump my fan base and get theirs. It was to add theirs to mine and mine to theirs. Yeah, exactly. So once I got there, mine didn't really seem that important. I had put a footing for myself on around the world, and Baby wasn't interested in letting me go to Europe, wasn't letting me go to Asia and to all of the places that I had built up such a big name for myself. So, you know, those euros and pounds are just bigger than dollars. So I wanted to continue to get those in addition to what we were doing here, and I just wasn't able to. And started reflecting in the music. A part of my musical change and my musical growth came from travel, and I got a little stagnated down there.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, kind of wanted to.
Sitting around in a party, but that's not what you went
Yeah,
for.
that's not what I went there for. I mean, but you know, hats off to Slim, because he definitely put me in a position to write a shit ton of music, and still to this day, you know, they do a big part of feeding my family because of my copyright situation with them. So.
Well, like I said, I instantly saw the power back then of you not waiting for a major, doing your thing,
Right.
embracing the independent thing, keeping it moving,
Yeah.
and doing it globally.
Yeah.
I'm over in Germany. I see
Yeah.
TQ on
Yeah.
the Billboard. I'm over here in France and TQ. No matter what language it's in,
Yeah.
you know, how early on did you realize that really the world is one market?
Yeah.
And if you don't go over there and tap into it, you know, this is the greatest country, but it's a big, wide world out there.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You know, what encouraged you to get out there and go after those foreign territories?
You know, I had performed at international, whatever this thing was, and
Was that London or where was that?
It was in Miami, actually.
Okay.
And these two guys walked me over to the bar to just talk to me about the possibility of taking this song and this project overseas.
Yeah.
And they basically felt like you can usher in a new kind of music to a whole nother side of the world that you've never seen. Are you interested? Most American artists won't do it. I'm like, yeah, well, sign me up. I'm down.
It's a plane right away.
Man, they high-fived and skipped back off into the convention, and next thing I know, 2 weeks later, I was headed over to London.
Wow.
Yeah. And
For those that haven't been, close to America, it's amazing.
man, what? It's like it doesn't take long to get used to, get past the stigma.
And
You know what I'm saying? It's
and
no
most of the people speak English.
Yeah, exactly. Most people everywhere speak English. So, but Germany's been good to me, man. It's still my second biggest market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I've embraced travel and embraced all of the people that want to hear my music. I don't care where they live. Let's do it.
Yeah. I would say. Matter of fact, since we got a little light, I'm going to swing over here and see if it face me. We'll get a little light on the action. Well, you know, hip hop is developed, and so many great artists are out there, and certainly Straight Outta Compton's put the spotlight back on Dre and Easy and Cube and Ren and Yella, and of course that family tree with Snoop, and so much great music. But technology's made it so easy to record, so easy to throw it up on iTunes, so easy to throw whatever video, good or bad, up on YouTube. But those of us that grew up in the 60s and the 70s and into the 80s, man, we miss real singing, real playing, real song.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that's your forte, but talk about, you know, the state of R&B, what it's going to take to really ignite some more momentum, because we talk about Motown, we talk about those legendary singers.
Yeah.
You know, that was real people. There was no computers, no cell phones, no internet.
Right.
You know, talk about your hopes for soul music really getting bigger.
You know, I think it just the reason why that music was so good and that music was what it was and lasted, it was because of you guys. It was because of what you guys were going through. It was because of you guys used that to connect with people. This generation uses a computer or a phone to connect with each other. So I don't want to sound like a pessimist, but yeah,
people texting each other, standing right next to each other.
Exactly. So I don't know how far down the wormhole we're gonna go on this, but if technology continues to grow, then I'm just glad that y'all put down the wax, because I can always listen to the music that they made back then. You know what I'm saying? I can't really say what's the next wave for the kids and what's happening next, but I know that I can
younger
always.
Generation coming up, and you go to some of these classic shows, and the parents have brought their kids.
Exactly.
It's 3 generations.
That's the way. That's the way.
You know what I mean?
That's the way, and hopefully what that'll do is it'll rattle that bone in the kids that it's rattled in us, and then they say, well, we don't want to hear the computer music no more. I want you to my favorite artist. I want you to make music like this now. Can you do it?
Yeah.
But if you can't, you're not my favorite artist no more.
Right.
Then it'll change.
Yeah,
then it'll change.
You're seeing some young singers, obviously they're emulating the past, but you see a young brother like Bruno Mars, man, out there
killing
the Super Bowl 2 years in a row.
Killing it, man.
You
Killing
know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah, he's staying true to himself. I got a voice, I'm a performer, and I'm going to stay true to that. That's he's staying true to himself.
Putting on a live show that only humans can do.
Exactly.
Machines will never replace
exactly.
that excitement.
Exactly.
Speaking of straight out of Compton, I know we're in the shadow right here of the Edmonds Tower, which of course is
yeah, exactly.
So anybody saw the movie and saw Easy coming over to see Dre,
right there.
Suge, that was the spot.
Right. Yeah.
We're right here in Hallowed Halls, man, where nothing but a G thang and gin and juice and all
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
But, like I say, you look at a Snoop or Dre, you talk to Ice Cube, they prayed at the altar of Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, man.
And all the funk bands and the soul music, So, there's hope that if we can keep combining real soulful performances with technology, we can take it further.
Yeah, I agree.
But if we kill and dumb down the music so much that people don't want to hear a real voice or real lyrics, that's the problem.
Yeah, like how dumb we gonna get? You know what I'm saying?
Nursery rhymes are for preschool.
Exactly.
And what can we do also? Because there's a generation growing up that don't have music in school.
Right.
They don't have what we grew up on.
Right.
The ability to, get an instrument at an early age and get some lessons in school and all that. How important is that to keep music education alive so the next generation can grow the next superstar?
Very important. It's very important. But the only way to make learning music cool to kids is for the people who know music to promote that learning music is cool. You get what I mean? Like, NWA was cool to us. If they weren't cool, we wouldn't have fucked with them. We wouldn't have gave a damn where they were from. You get what I mean? So if enough kids get to the point where they demand it, where they're going outside of school to get it, then it's going to be you got to put it back in at that point. But that's going to take some pretty prominent people making a lot of noise about it. The Kanyes and Jay-Z's and the Beyoncés and Taylor Swifts of the world. Put them together instead of a new way to listen to music. How about a new way to teach music? Who knows? I just know those are the names that kids are going to listen to. They ain't listening to their teachers or their parents. You know what I'm saying? So.
And even if they don't do it as a profession, just that cognitive learning.
Exactly.
Expressing yourself.
Exactly.
Trial and error,
Exactly.
So there's a problem with everything on a computer and hitting a mouse and thinking you can learn a language or learn a lesson, learn an instrument. Or,
right.
I spoke to Quincy Jones. He said, man, that's the biggest problem is the dedication that's lacking in this younger generation.
Yeah.
Coming up, there was nothing to spend 20 years mastering your saxophone.
Right.
Or that piano.
Right.
Right. And we need to encourage that.
Yes. Agreed.
But coming full circle, we got Coming Home.
Yes.
And we got our boy Demiza involved.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So those that don't know, one of the powers behind Power 106, and certainly a man who's, you know, nurtured many a talent over the years.
Many a talent. Many a talent.
Yeah. Way up there in Carpinteria.
Yes, sir.
So tell us how you got involved with Demiz and tell us what Coming Home is all about.
Well, me and Miz been working together for years, man. He did my single Daily from back in the day. Yep. Shay Shice back in the day. So that was way back when he was at Power. Me and him ended up linking up, and he's actually the one that linked me with Dre to get onto the Up and Smoke tour. Yeah, Demiz is the one that linked that up. So me and him had kind of gone our separate ways, just working separately, doing whatever. And then all of a sudden we just came back together last year, linked up through a third party, and I got his number, he got mine, we just started talking. He's like, look, man, I got a situation going on. We need to make a great independent album, and let's see what we can do with it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down. Let's make it happen. Started working on it last year, and just finished it up about a month ago. So the first single from the project is called Coming Home, and that's the title of the actual album. It was produced by Demiza.
What are you most proud of achieving? What can we expect as far as the full scope of the record?
You know, this record is an extension of actual, I'm gonna call it a series that I've been writing, and you know, I don't know, we're trying to get it, maybe, we don't know, picked up by a network or a book or a series of webisodes or what, but I've written a story entitled Brothers, and it's a real plot heavy, twisty, turny, you know, juicy story here, and I'm getting ready to start telling it across my blogs, on some special short films that we're working on right now, and the actual video for Coming Home is kind of encapsulated in a long trailer for this series called The Brothers. So it was fun to kind of write songs that were scenes, to say the least.
Real blurry line between music,
right,
film,
right. Yeah, there's so much, you know, it's a multimedia world. There's so many, with all of our devices and the things that we use every day, there's many ways to get a story out. You know, some people love to listen to music. Some people love to read blogs. Some people love to watch videos, watch music, exactly. So I want to hit them on all fronts to just have just stimulation overload regarding this story. And while we're in development, may as well tell it. So here we are. We're going to start telling it tonight. I put the first blog up a couple of days ago. It's the preface, it's the setup for the story, and the next one will be coming Friday. Yeah.
Now, all that you've seen, all you've been through, the business is constantly changing, but from the creative side, what advice do you have to those young singers, young players, people that aspire to be something in music, but they might not know really the type of dedication or sacrifice or perseverance is needed? What do you tell them that if you're serious about this, what they really need to focus on, or what's the mindset?
It's a very fine line when I give advice to people, because I come from an era that is just a bit different from what it is now. When you tell an artist these days that truth, the rebuttal is, well, this person didn't work like that. This person don't have to do all that. That person don't have to do all of that. Well, that person got lucky. So do you want to put it on luck, or do you want to put it on hard work and dedication? I started this when I was 15 years old. I couldn't go to school on Mondays. I couldn't go to school on Fridays because I was just coming home from working on the weekend. Got to the point where I was only judged by my tests because of the amount of time that I was spending at work. And still to this day, the majority of my time is spent writing songs and making music. It's repetitious to the point of ridiculousness to get yourself to the level of where you can even be comfortable with your craft as compared to the rest of the competition. And there is just no easy way. Even the ones who get it easy, it's always this. It's always a roller coaster with this game. So the easier that you got it, the harder it's going to be to get back up. when you come down. Now, if you've worked, you got some calluses on your hands, and you get knocked down, you can climb some more. It ain't gonna hurt. You know what I mean? So it's perseverance, man. You have to be built for it. You got to be tough for it, and it's absolutely not for everybody. So if you try it and you fail, and try something else. It ain't for everybody. Yeah.
It's a pleasure as always, man. Just watching the evolution of TQ.
Thanks a lot.
Coming home, man, in more ways than one.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Cool.